say if I'm going to bed by 11 o'clock, what's the absolute cutoff for my last cup of caffeine?
In the morning at 10 a.m.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought you would have said like 2 p.m. or something.
No, to waking up and people are grabbing their phones. Straight away
this is a big one. This is such a huge one.
Yeah, blue light.
And then I'm not picking up my phone at least for about 60 minutes.
Yeah.
First 60 minutes after I've woken up.
A lot of women, you use it on their neck, and that's directly onto your thyroid. That's the biggest endocrine center.
Is that where your thyroid glands are, right?
Yeah.
Here.
So your thyroid, Then if you're spraying it directly there, that's the absorption.
Okay.
It happens. Your cells are going to receive it quicker. Because if you think about your cells in the body, everyone is made up of fat.
Yeah.
So it can only receive fat. You see, fat can only cross the cell. So you need the fat with the water in order for the water to be received by the cell.
Welcome back to Daily Habits. Today I'm with Indy Kaur. She quit her 20-year pharmacy career and became a holistic health consultant. Indy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
What is a holistic health consultant?
Okay, so we look at every aspect of your health. So not just the physical, not just the mental, not just the spiritual, it is all bodies. So everything internally with regards to, whether it's symptoms, but it's going like way deeper into how each system is connected, because our liver's not separate, our gut's not separate. It's everything that's interconnected, as well as your mental and spiritual health, emotional health as well.
What would drive me to come look for a holistic health consultant?
Okay, so I think some people, they know they have an issue or they have a symptom. So for example, the women that come to me, they have bloating or fatigue. But the thing is, those aren't a digestive symptom. And a lot of people think it's just an issue with my gut. So this is for somebody that wants to get to the root of it, basically. Like, is it maybe the lymphatic system that they're struggling with? Is it maybe also, emotions that have been suppressed? And that's what's leading to maybe the brain fog or the bloating or, constipation, whatever it is. So I always say to people, if you're working with a holistic health consultant, is looking at something that goes way beyond what your symptom is, because it's, something has started way before that symptom shows up in your body. So it could be decades before as well. So yeah, I guess it's wanting to know the root cause of something.
What's the number one reason why people come to you?
It is whether it's fatigue, bloating, brain fog. I'd say that's the main thing. And also obviously anyone that's got like chronic illness, like the, issues with the thyroid or other detox issues. So, things like skin flares or eczema. Yeah, those type of things.
Detox issues, that's skin flares, is it?
Yeah, so that's linked to the fact that your liver is pushing out toxins through your skin because it can't handle the burden in the body, or the gut the gut may be inflamed, the gut may be leaky, you may have a leaky gut. And I say it's detox issues because that's an overload basically over time of toxins in the body. So if you think of your body like a bucket and it's got holes in it, you're pouring in. So some things will come out through the holes, but eventually when you just keep pouring in, it's going to start overflowing. So I would say that's your like toxin bucket. And when it starts overflowing, that's going to show up as symptoms like the bloating, like the eczema, like the fatigue, the brain fog, all of those things.
I've heard before that when something shows up as a skin issue, like eczema or acne, I don't know what the others are.
Yeah.
It's usually the last place where it shows up.
Yeah.
Where does it show up before that if we were to go looking for it?
So it's very different for everybody. So say, for example, with, eczema, prior to that, you may even get things like the fatigue. You may even get things like the brain fog or the even constipation. Anything that a lot of the time it shows up in your gut first. Yeah. So you will get the gut symptoms, that sluggishness, that feeling of heaviness. And then obviously at a point where your liver feels like I can't handle this, it starts to push it out through the skin or the lungs. So some people feel that they have, that difficulty to take that deep breath right into the stomach. into the pit of your abdomen.
Yeah.
And that could be that, your lungs don't have that capacity as well. So it's little things, but yeah, noticeable.
Brain fog is something that I hear about a lot these days. You hear it on social media as well. And I heard you just mention it a few times. How would one describe brain fog? Like, I don't know if I've ever felt it before, but even if I did, it sounds very abstract. Like, I don't know if I can describe it if I was feeling it.
Okay. So the women that I work with, if they've described to me that they've, say, gone into a room and they've forgotten what they've gone in for, that's like a momentary brain fog.
Okay. I have loads of those.
But, some women are waking up in the morning and they're feeling like they're just, it's that heaviness and the dullness in the head, and they do get headaches.
Okay.
And I would say as the day goes on, it just gets heavier and heavier. That's like an extreme case of brain fog then. Like, you can't sit at your desk and concentrate. You're finding that come, 1 o'clock, even 11 a.m. for some women, you're feeling like, I can't go on through the day without coffee or sugar.
Yeah, I was going to say, does caffeine help with this?
Well, I think caffeine is one of those things. It's like one of those things that saves you for that moment. But again, you're just borrowing energy from your body basically when you're caffeinating it.
Yeah.
So it's what caffeine does is actually it blocks the receptors that cause that lull in your body. So that sense of relaxed feeling. So all you're doing is blocking that. And then what happens is over time, as the caffeine moves away from those receptors, you're going to start to feel energized again.
Yeah.
Well, it reappears, sorry. Yeah. So you'll feel that.
You'll feel that lull again.
You'll feel that lull again. Sorry. Yeah. So it's borrowing energy basically from your body. That's all it is.
What about supplements like Lion's Mane that, help you get focused or, sharper thinking momentarily or for the day? I know it's supposed to be like a daily dose that you take. Does that help with brain fog?
So ultimately, no, because it's a long-term thing. It's internally, there's a root cause. So with brain fog, for me, I would look at your lymphatic system. Is your brain draining, which it does at night?
What's the lymphatic system?
So your lymphatic system is your flush system. So if you think of it's moving toxins out of your body. So the viruses, the bacteria.
Is that mainly the liver's job?
No, the liver processes toxins and then it moves into your lymphatic system.
Okay.
And then your lymphatic system relies on your breath. It relies on your movement. Like,
exercise.
We need to be moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even just exercise, being out in the sun.
Okay.
It relies on that as well. So yeah, when your body is not moving or you're not breathing deeply, you're not, activating the lymphatic system. So brain fog is at night, your brain is draining through the lymphatic system.
Lymphatic system.
Yeah. So that's why
that's a different system.
It's part of the lymphatic system, but it's the brain's own system.
Okay.
And if you're not sleeping well, so a lot of people have this habit of staying up really late, Netflix or whatever it is.
Not Netflix, but staying up late sometimes.
Yeah. And then what happens is your brain is not draining effectively. So I would say by 10 p.m. you need to be in bed.
When you say my brain is not draining effectively, what does that mean? Why does my brain need to drain?
Your brain needs to drain from heavy metals, from any toxins that you've brought into your body.
And how am I taking those toxins in? Through which form?
Water, through skincare, through anything, like you're burning a paraffin wax candle, anything that you're bringing into your body or you have within your environment. Even, when we walk out in London, we're just breathing in a lot of toxic air. But pollution, but we can't control that.
Yeah.
You can only control what you're eating through your food, pesticides, all of those type of things. That's where you're bringing in toxic load.
So how does one become aware of what kind of toxic load they're bringing into their body or their environment?
I think it's the biggest thing I find is, I say to people, is your water. So we are made up of 80% water. So if more than 80%, in fact. So if you're drinking unfiltered water, that's a big influx of toxins. You've got, chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, all in tap water. So one of the best and simplest things you can do is just buy yourself a filter. And you can get budget filters, which are good. Not Brita, by the way.
Okay. Why not Brita?
Brita builds up mold. They're not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just showing that they're not great.
Are they those jugs that you can buy?
Plastic jugs, but you can get zero waste filter jug, which is a plastic jug, but they've been proven to filter out those microplastics and filter out a high level of toxins, including heavy metals. So yeah, you can go the budget, you can go for an in-water filter, like a system that you put into your
install one
tap.
into the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what drove you to leave a 20-year career as a pharmacist and become a holistic health consultant? What was that switch?
So the biggest, I guess, wake-up moment for me was when I got pregnant. And I realised that I probably hadn't got the right environment for myself, because that's a big part of my work is terrain, so your internal environment. I realised, I was eating processed foods. I was, relying on some medication for like bloating that I was experiencing, some fatigue that I was experiencing, and that was at the age of 28. So I was, working as a pharmacist, and I was seeing women come in month after month for the same prescriptions and still feeling the same, after conversations with them. And I was thinking, there's something not right, because surely they should be healed, or there should have been some cure by now.
They shouldn't be relying on it for this.
Yeah, 100%.
Long.
Yeah. And it should be that, I guess we've been taught that, you take a pill and you're cured.
Yeah.
But it hasn't worked like that, right? And that's where for me the alignment stopped. I was like, nah, like something has to give, because I can't be feeling like this as a pharmacist. I was, overweight, I was bloated, I was tired myself. And I did get pregnant, but I was thinking there's something has to change, because for my daughter, my unborn child, I need to change things, because I don't want her to be, coming into this world already with all these toxins inside of her. So I don't know, something just clicked and switched in my mind very quickly when I got pregnant.
And then you went cold turkey, you just quit, or like you built?
I didn't come off the register.
Okay.
I just, it was a progressive thing. I started to work on my journey. I went through my holistic health journey.
And what was that?
That was looking at what I was bringing into the home, what I was using in terms of sprays in the home, like things that had endocrine disruptors, so things that were affecting my hormonal health.
Endocrine disruptors?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
So that is things, your endocrine is like, your hormonal centers, so where your hormones are produced. So if you think about it from an ancestral point of view, it's your chakras. Yeah. Every chakra is a endocrine center. Understood. So if you affect that with things like fragrance, so perfume sprays, you affect that. Yeah, things like phthalates.
I weigh a lot of them when I go to a party.
Yeah, I mean, I say to people, avoid putting it on your skin, directly on your skin.
Okay.
A lot of women, you use it on their neck, and that's directly onto your thyroid. That's the biggest endocrine center.
Is that where your thyroid glands are, right?
Yeah. Here. So your thyroid, and then if you're spraying it directly there, that's the absorption. It happens. So that's
because you absorb a lot through the skin as well, isn't it? Yeah,
100%.
Is it true that even like your skin is an organ?
Yeah, so your skin is your largest detox organ.
Yeah.
So if you're spraying it with, or even using skincare products that contain endocrine disruptors, things like phthalates as well, plastics are, endocrine disruptors as well. So if you're drinking out of plastic bottles, if you're using a lot of plastic in your kitchen, you're heating up food in plastic, all of these things are going to affect your hormonal health.
Melt into your food.
Yeah, basically.
If I was a fly on your wall in your house, what would I catch you doing in terms of being healthy or looking out for these toxins and making sure I'm optimizing in the best way?
Oh gosh, that's a rabbit hole, Sukh.
Let's go down this hole.
Let's go down there. I tell you what, the thing for me is, because I've done it for so many years now, it feels like it's normal. Like for me, it doesn't feel abnormal or different.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So you know how it is when you've built those habits up over the years.
Yeah.
So like I said, the biggest thing is the water. I make sure I'm hydrated, like not just with water, with, your mineral salts and your fats. And then the other thing.
Fats?
Yeah, because hydration.
How do you hydrate with fats?
So essential fatty acids like, coconut oil or ghee.
So you just take like a ghee shot or something? Yeah.
So you could have like in the mornings, I'll have a spoon of coconut oil with my water and minerals.
Okay.
And then throughout the day, I'm making sure in my meals, I'm including essential fatty acids like
So you'll have coconut oil with water.
Yeah.
And minerals, you said.
Yeah.
How are you taking those minerals? Is it like a tablet or something?
So salt.
Just salt, okay.
Himalayan salt or Celtic salt.
Oh, Celtic salt, okay.
Yeah, and just under your tongue. The other thing is you can get fulvic acid or ion minerals as well and just add them to your water. I do that as well.
Is that iodine?
No, ion. It's just the brand, yeah. But they're really good because they mineralize you. So I would add those to my water as well.
So sometimes I take Celtic salt in my bottle of water.
Yeah.
When I go to the gym, I'll just be sipping that.
Yeah.
And very rarely I'll have like a bulletproof coffee. So I'll put, instead of putting like milk or cream in the coffee, I'll just put coconut oil.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to take it?
Yeah, 100%. Like even people, I think ghee is the big thing now, having ghee in your coffee. Is that?
Yeah, I think that used to be a thing back in the days with like in Indian culture where you'd have a bulletproof tea. That's where the name came from. Tea, you put ghee in your jar, in your tea, and then you have it that way.
Yeah. So same thing. Like some people have the ghee in the morning with their water. I mean,
it's probably best to have it just with water rather than with caffeine.
Yeah, 100%. Especially as your first drink in the morning. So that if you go back to saying if you're fly on the wall, my biggest thing is hydration. So the first thing in the morning is a lemon water with the Celtic salt with coconut oil.
The lemon's doing what? Alkalizing?
Yeah. So that's your liver detox. Like that's activating the liver first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Because overnight it's been detoxing. It's been working really hard for you. So having that lemon, half a lemon I have squeezed into my water, that's just going to, the work that your liver's done overnight, it's just going to really help support it and start clearing the detox pathways as well.
Okay. So if I was to introduce this protocol into my life when I'm like, say from tomorrow morning when I wake up, what's the order of things I should be doing? So lemon water, hydration, like Celtic salt or Himalayan salt, and maybe some fatty acids, as you said, So that would be ghee or coconut oil. And does it have to be in that order or any order?
All together. Like you could have, so your lemon water, you can add the salt, you can add the coconut oil. So you've had
coconut oil with lemon. It's going to taste a bit funny, isn't it?
I have the spoon first, to be honest. I've never added it to my lemon water, but you can try it.
Yeah, all right.
But I would have it all together because then it's not, when you're habit stacking.
It's not such a, habit stacking. It's not such a big process then.
No, 100%. And that's what I want to teach people. It's very simple to be healthy.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the biggest thing,
One of the first things I like to do as soon as I wake up is, like, my main mission is how quickly can I have my coffee? And I know that's bad.
Yeah.
I usually delay it about 30 minutes, but then I'm going to, go for that cup of joe.
Yeah.
But before that, I'll either have some electrolytes or I'll have maybe just plain water and I'll take my creatine and I'll leave like a 30-minute gap.
Okay.
So is that a good start, or should I is electrolytes or just water not enough? Do I need to have those fatty acids and lemon and stuff before?
So it depends what your electrolytes have got in them as well.
Okay.
Honestly, you're doing good because you're having the water first. So, but if you can add that the essential fatty acids in as well, you're going to hydrate at a much deeper level. Your cells are going to receive it quicker. Because if you think about your cells in the body, everyone is made up of fat.
Yeah.
So it can only receive fat. You see, fat can only cross the cell. So you need the fat with the water in order for the water to be received by the cell as well.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah, and obviously the minerals as well. Like with salt, Celtic salt contains I think 3 types of magnesium. That's going to carry that water across the cell as well. The minerals. Okay. So it's really the essential fatty acids. It is. I love science.
Okay,
but that's what people miss is the essential fatty acids. I think people are really scared of fats, and a lot of people will ask me, but it's quite calorific. Is it okay to have it?
That was going to be my next question, because if someone say on a cut or they're in a deficit, I was 3 years ago, I was like in a deficit.
Yeah.
And I still calorie watch now to some degree. I don't like to overdo it, right? Yeah. So if I'm going to have a spoon of coconut oil, it's probably I know a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil is about 120 calories.
Right.
So if I'm going to have that, I'm taking 120 calories of, food effectively, which now it's gone into my eating budget for the rest of the day.
Okay. It depends why you're calorie counting as well. So I say to people, when you focus on that number, then what happens is you start to forget about the nourishment side of it.
Yeah. So how can you strike a good balance where you're not overdoing the number,
Yeah.
but also make sure you're getting the right nutrients.
Okay, so I would say if you're getting, a good amount of, with your fatty acids or your fats, I know that's the biggest thing people worry about when it's the number of calories, is you just need like a thumb-sized amount for each meal. And if you're getting that, then, you're going to have your fiber with your vegetables or carbs, your protein, whether that's, meat, fish, beans, lentils, whatever it is. So for me, I'm quite an intuitive eater because I feel these days we have got really bogged down with tracking everything.
Yes.
And it makes people it brings in that scarcity mindset as well, I feel. And it does affect your subconscious thinking. Like this is going way beyond probably what we want to talk about, but it starts
No, let's go there.
I feel like, if you think back to our ancestors,
mm-hmm.
they were living very simply.
Yeah.
They weren't counting calories. They weren't looking they were very intuitive with what they had on their plate.
That's right. And you only ate when you were hungry and then you didn't eat.
Yeah. And we had that gap between eating. So 3 to 4 hours. We have to have that. When you don't have that, again, you're going to affect how your body's detoxing or how your gut's working, how your colon is clearing.
Because you're not giving it enough time to clear.
Yeah. Because you're not giving your body enough time for that to kick back, for the digestion to actually work. And then for it to rest a little bit before the next digestive juices kick in again. You need to give it that time.
So is intermittent fasting good then for that? Does that link to like how you would advise your clients sometimes?
Yeah, so that is pretty much what I would say is intermittent fasting is working on the basis where you do give your body that 3 to 4 hour gap. I think again, a very Western ideal is to have snacks in between every single meal.
Yeah.
And that's actually not giving your body the ideal conditions to, digest the food fully that you've had. And then to really start clearing the colon. And this is a big issue, is that people have backlog in the colon, backlog from years and years.
So the stomach's just not clearing out. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So the colon isn't clearing out. So
so they're not pooing enough.
So they may be eliminating, but it's not necessarily from, the end. It could be just kind of bypassing and you're just eliminating a certain amount. And
so how do you clear the backlog and what are the implications if you don't?
The implications if you don't is you are building that internal environment where your toxins are recirculating. So if you think about, your colon, if over time, what builds up is called mucoid plaque. So that is like this sludge. It builds up inside the colon, inside the intestinal wall. So what happens is if you're not clearing toxins out, this is all building up in the background. And then you may be, eliminating, but not fully. It's not a complete elimination. Like people think, one bowel movement is enough, but we say in the detox world is 2 is a good...
A day?
A day, yeah. So that you're really completely clearing out. Because if you're eating meals on meals on meals, it has to go somewhere, right? It has to come out of you as well.
Yeah, of course.
So, that's more like clearing the colon is more of a deeper detox work that I do. But that is using things like maybe binders, or it is working on that hydration too.
What's binders?
So binders is where we're effectively using something like diatomaceous earth or charcoal, activated charcoal, and you're binding the toxins. So they have an affinity, and they'll bind from the body, they'll grab toxins and they'll bring it out of your body. But again, that's something you would do under a protocol, a proper protocol where you're working with somebody. I wouldn't do that alone because what can happen is you can go reverse, and you can get, sometimes the binders can cause constipation. So you need to know what your limit is, and also you need to make sure that what you are releasing is the right quantity. Sometimes people go and they get dehydrated because they're eating binders and they're not drinking enough water. So you need to look out for the signs. And also there's signs of toxemia, so where it's all recirculating and stuff like that.
So do you have to have specific blood tests or something to look at these markers then if they're working with you?
No.
Then how would you pick that information
Symptoms. It's symptoms. And with toxemia, it could be things like headaches or, the bloating, the fatigue. And you're going to get a little bit of those symptoms when you do go through a detox, but at the same time, it shouldn't be like massive, because what that means then is that your toxins are just recirculating. And another thing people miss out, obviously, with that is the lymphatic system, like we talked about, is the lymphatic system is sluggish. It's not moving as effectively. And that's one of the first pieces. Whereas people go into, they think, I need some gut work, and they'll have a gut protocol.
Okay. But what's a gut protocol?
So whatever, people are, selling out their gut.
Sorry to cut you off. What would make me think, I need gut work? Like, I don't know. That's not a thought that's occurred before.
So symptoms like, maybe not for you, but for people that are experiencing bloating, fatigue.
Okay. So physical symptoms.
Physical constipation, diarrhea, whatever it is.
Stomach aches?
Yeah. Heaviness, that sluggish feeling in the stomach.
Okay.
That feeling that actually also they are on a weight loss journey, but they get plateaued.
They're not moving.
Yeah. And they plateau.
Okay.
And that is when you kind of know, well, I would know that that's the gap that one is probably your drainage, most definitely. You're not draining as effectively as you should be.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is then people go and have supplements, or people go and they'll just take medication for the gut, but they haven't looked at, is my body draining effectively enough to actually, for these supplements to work, or for my body to actually process these supplements as well.
Yeah.
So I always start with, we have to be draining, and we have to, when we start with the drainage work, we're reducing inflammation as well at the same time.
Okay.
That's really important if you're doing any of this type of detox work. So don't do, people, I see a lot of promotion of detox teas and 5-day detox, whatever it is, but there is an order. There's a specific order you have to do that in as well.
Okay. I want to get into that order, but also the other thing I wanted to ask was, we're speaking about supplements, and I've heard you say this on Instagram that, the system has failed us. It was symptom, diagnosis, then pill.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And now it's symptom, diagnosis, supplement.
Yeah.
And both systems are failing us.
Yeah.
How so?
Because a Band-Aid is a Band-Aid solution. A pill from your doctor is a Band-Aid solution. And obviously, I'm not telling anyone not to take medication, but have you looked at why this symptom is occurring? Like, why are you bloated? Why are you tired? Why are you getting headaches? It could be as simple as you're not hydrated enough. It could be as simple as your drainage needs work. But it's the same with supplements. The supplement industry is massive. It's probably nearly as big as the, medicine industry. But it's that same thing. You have a symptom, like I've got bloating. I've been diagnosed with bloating. Now I need a supplement for bloating. It doesn't get to the root, because what is going on underneath of why are you bloated in the first place? And, that's where I would say work with a practitioner, or, really deep dive into what it is your habits are, what your day looks like. Be a fly on your own wall and have a look at what are you doing every single day. Why is it you think you might be bloated?
Is that lifestyle choices or just like eating choices?
Everything. Like lifestyle choices are things like you're not moving enough, you're not getting enough sunlight. Your eating choices are, you're not eating enough whole foods, so foods from nature. If you're eating more processed foods, like prepackaged foods, then you're going to definitely start to feel this sluggishness, that buildup of toxicity in your body as well.
Okay. So what's the detox sequence?
So the first thing is you have to look at your drainage and reducing inflammation in the body, because like I said, people go in at the wrong step. They just go straight in and do a gut protocol, throw in loads of supplements. And I've been on the end of that as well. When I first started my holistic health journey, I thought I need to take this supplement, that, you line them up in the morning, you're taking a load of supplements, but I didn't look at, actually, is my body able to absorb these supplements? Is my body able to process them and break them down? And if we're not working on drainage, then how is our body supposed to do any of that, before that? And once you've done that, you've got to look at your colon. Obviously, your colon's a big one, because the colon is a massive piece of the detox work, where we have to move out old waste, because we're holding on to a lot of, people are holding on to, pounds and pounds of old waste.
What's my colon doing specifically in my body that's gonna make this better for me? So
basically it's moving out that old waste. So if you're not moving out waste.
Is that where
toxins,
the old waste is being stored?
Yeah. So, and then it's going to move out into your intestines, right? So if you're not moving out old waste, it's just recirculating. It's going back. It's being drawn, the toxins from it, like say, for example, plastics, heavy metals, whatever it is, they're being drawn
just recirculating in your body.
Back into your blood. And that's why people get in this cycle of fatigue, bloating, brain fog. So if we're not clearing that out.
So drainage is important to clear the colon out. So then the same toxins are not regurgitating and recirculating.
100%. Yeah.
Which is causing the inflammation, constipation, and brain fog.
And which is making the job on your liver and your kidneys, which are your detox organs, a lot harder.
Is it making it almost impossible for it to detox that?
I wouldn't say...
Is that something that the colon has to do in order for the liver and kidney to then remove?
I think for anyone with chronic health issues, definitely, yes.
Okay.
And then obviously when you get to a certain age, I would say definitely go through the detox process so that you can clear out years of, because, you may have had years of where you've drank alcohol, where you've had processed foods, where you've brought in toxins, you've had foods that didn't really serve your body, and your body hasn't been able to clear them out because you've not slept well enough, because you've had stress in your life, which we all have. Yeah. So I would say when you get to like age 40, like definitely go through that process. It's a one-time process. You don't have to keep doing it unless you're, going through a chronic health illness. But if you have chronic health issues, then definitely go through that process, because, the biggest part to play in chronic health illness is toxins, environmental toxins, stress. It's the biggest influencer on how your health is.
So I don't really have any symptoms that I can think of, which I can say, oh, I'm feeling this, so I should go get a blood test. And like, I don't feel like I have brain fog or fatigue or, lethargy. Maybe that's one of them. But I have just turned 40, and I am someone who's consumed alcohol for like majority of my last 20 years, my whole adult life. It's only been about 4 months since I've not been having alcohol. So should I definitely be going to have this drainage done then?
Well, no. You could go through the process. It's actually a 6-month process. Okay. But it's not, for somebody like you, it'd be so much easier because you're already on that path of you move, you exercise, you drink, water, you're already doing a lot of the right stuff.
And I eat pretty much like 90% of my diet is whole foods. Yeah. I don't eat pre-packaged food.
Yeah. And the fact that you're not experiencing symptoms is great, because that's a sign that, you probably don't have a high level inflammation in your body as well. So honestly, like, I would say, even if I would say you're on par with my husband. He's the same. Like, he moves, he does everything I tell him to do, which is,
he's a good husband.
Have this, have that. And then, even him, I've taken him through the process, because I'm like, just do the process. And he still cleared out stuff, because like you said, you've had those years
of where build up over the years.
You have put that burden on your liver, with alcohol or with processed foods. And, your body's really clever. It's designed to self-heal. It's designed to detox. Yeah. So it's doing a lot of it in the background anyway. Okay. However, it's like I said, if your bucket has overflowed at some point, it's just made the job a bit harder. And then you do get that. Your body's quite clever in that if it's feeling unsafe, or it's feeling like there's too much of this, it's going to safely store it away. And some people, that will be fat. So like I said, we talked about the plateau in your weight loss journey. So if you've come to that point where you're exercising, you're eating really well, but you've plateaued with your weight loss journey, it's probably a sign that your body's holding on to toxins and doesn't feel safe enough to release them just yet. So that's another thing. And it could well be drainage issue as well, is that your body's not draining effectively enough in order to release that fat. Okay. So there's a lot of moving parts.
Gut microbiome is like a big buzzword that you hear a lot of these days. Is the work you do linked to improving gut microbiome?
Yes. It's really important, because that your gut is it is the center, and it is where, I don't know what, like, they say disease starts in the gut, but I think actually it shows up in the gut. That's what I'd like to say, is because you get the digestive symptoms. It could start in, my work is a lot around toxins. So it starts with when you've had this overload of toxins, stressful life, alcohol, processed foods, whatever it is, unfiltered water, it's built up over time. And then the gut microbiome is really important because the issue these days is, well, number one is stress, like biggest toxin of our time.
What, my gut?
It affects your gut. Yeah, because your gut microbiome is affected by stress.
Yeah.
Because you're basically effectively, when you're in a stress mode or when you're in fight or flight, your body is going to shut digestion down because it wants you to survive, basically. It's like that clever. So detox, digestion, all of those things take a backseat. And that's going to affect your gut microbiome. So it's going to affect how you absorb any foods that you're eating. It's going to affect how you're processing any of the foods. So yeah, and I think these days a lot of people aren't eating enough, good bacteria-rich foods, like the whole foods, like the vegetables, and you're getting all of that from, Mother Nature, the whole foods that you're eating. So the biggest input is your vegetables, your fruits, all of those things that are going to boost your...
I was having a conversation with one of my friends yesterday. He's on a health journey. He's also stopped alcohol recently. I take some credit for that. And let's see how long I last. And we were speaking about, eating whole foods, vegetables. He's vegetarian, always has been. But then we also agreed on something that actually you can't trust what you eat these days, even if it's whole foods, because it's being sprayed with chemicals and pesticides. So, what about that? I could be someone that's eating loads of vegetables, but it's still sprayed with chemicals. So how's that going to affect me?
So I always say go organic, but honestly, not supermarket organic.
This is the other thing I was going to say, because I feel like the standards for getting the organic label on your produce is
There's
dropped.
no standard. Yeah. In the supermarket, the problem with the supermarket organic food is they're using the same farms as where they're spraying pesticides. So truly not organic.
So if I'm going to, I shop from Sainsbury's all the time, and I go there mainly because they have a huge organic range of products.
Yeah.
So should I not be going there anymore?
Okay, so the issue is, for me, I shop at Riverford, and people find Riverford Organics. So it's online. They deliver to your door on a Thursday morning, whatever it is. And I shop there because I'll get my fruits, vegetables, because I know that's what I need for my gut health. Anything else dry, like lentils, pulses, I get from Buy Whole Foods online because it's bulk and it works out cheaper. And this is the thing, people find organic food really expensive, and that's always the pushback I get. But it's really expensive.
It is. I mean, you even see it on the price tags when you go to Sainsbury's. You pick up, I don't know, if I was to buy Pink Lady apples, the regular ones versus the organic ones are going to be time and a half.
Yeah.
But I tried the difference in taste as well. 1 week I brought the non-organic ones. Nirvana loves apples.
Yeah.
She didn't like them. And even I tasted it. Didn't taste as crunchy, didn't taste as nice.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see, is it just a placebo?
No.
But it actually didn't taste good.
Well, when you move to Riverford, you're going to notice that. Trust me. I know people feel like, yes, it is expensive. However, what I've worked out over the long term is what is your health worth?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Over the long run, it's going to be probably far cheaper for you to buy organic and then not have, years spent in the hospital, maybe God forbid, or chronic health issues.
Pesticides they accumulate in your body. Yes, your body can, they have a short half-life, so they can be moved out. However, if you're constantly plying your body with them, it's been linked to kidney issues. It's been linked to thyroid conditions. It has that link, like pesticides. And even I say to people, do a week with good organic food and you can clear out 90% of your pesticides. But ultimately, it's having that continuation. Yeah. And if you feel, I get it, it's not on everyone's budget, and it's not fair because it's clean food, right?
And it's also that it's actually less ingredients, isn't it, to buy organic?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're buying something without pesticides, which should warrant it being cheaper.
Yeah, you would think so. I think it's the way they farm organic food, it takes a lot more nurturing.
It does.
And with the food, what I get from Riverford or Abel and Cole, they do organic food as well.
I'm going to get these references off you later. So
no worries.
Put them in the show notes.
They put a lot more effort into nurturing that food and a lot more effort into making sure there's no chemical fertilizers used in the soil, as well as obviously sprayed onto the item onto the fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I always say to people, it's a priority. Like you're eating food 3 times a day. Like that is your priority. And yes, I know it's expensive. So I say there is a website, Pan UK, or in America, I think it's EWG, the Environmental Working Group. They talk about the dirty dozen. So
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So the dirty dozen are the ones that you definitely wouldn't get non-organic. So things like strawberries, things like spinach, blueberries. Yeah. Make sure you're definitely buying those organic. So
the dirty dozen. Yeah.
As well.
All right, I'll list these.
Yeah. So that for somebody that's on a budget, like really, really on a budget, then definitely look at the dirty dozen and have a look at, okay, I'll just stick to getting these for now as non-organic. And notice the difference. Like you said, you do notice the difference in the taste. And when I moved
as organic, do you mean?
Yeah, get those as definitely as organic.
Yeah, okay, the dirty dozen. Yeah,
the dirty dozen.
There's another way, and I've seen this online, I don't know how true it is, that you can wash your fruit in, say, baking soda, even if you bought non-organic, and you would be removing the pesticides.
No, well, you'd only remove them from the outside, but you pesticides are systemic, so they're absorbed by the actual root of the plant. So they're internal, they're inside. Okay. So it's much like, us having a shower, we can only wash the outside.
So pesticides, that's basically like a medicine that they are genetically inducing into the fruit, into the root. So it's
a spray to stop pests coming and it's, to stop the weeds and stuff growing. It's a whole host of
killing
chemicals.
The fruit, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And to, obviously then we get GMO food as well, which a lot of the genetically modified food, which is so that it doesn't have the pips in it, so that it's bigger, so it's brighter.
Like the seedless grapes.
Yeah. It's really hard to get grapes with seeds now. Mm-hmm. But that's what it is. That's your genetically modified food. Again, really not good for you because your body doesn't recognize it.
Someone who's listening to this is probably going to think, it's really hard for me to now not only buy organic, but look at these GMO labels or go online to shop. Like it's literally going to disrupt their weekly routine. So what's the best place to start if I wanted to go clean without it kind of overhauling my life?
Okay. So the biggest thing is the water first. Like make sure, because like I said, you're 80-90% water.
Okay.
And if you're bringing in clean water, that's the biggest step you can take towards, making sure your body's not overloaded with toxins. The second thing is look at the dirty dozen. If you don't feel like the, organic food is within your budget, look at the dirty dozen and just make sure you get those things when you do buy those things as organic. Yeah.
Okay.
The third thing is just stick to whole foods, like as much as possible. Even if you can't get the organic, I think stick to whole foods, make sure you're moving properly, make sure you're breathing properly, all of those things, just to give your body the best chance to move those things out as well. Because, it's overwhelming, I know.
It is, yeah. And I'm just thinking like a lot of the times I'm in an environment where I'm surrounded by people like quite younger than me in their 20s, and they love KFC, McDonald's very regularly. So how would I convince someone of that age, someone who's in that mindset, to switch from that to whole foods? Like I take home cooked meals, prep my food, or Deepa preps it for me. Or I use a meal prepping company nowadays.
Yeah, you had to say that.
No, absolutely. And I've said this before that I only cook my breakfast, my lunch and dinner. I'm not a good cook, and I wouldn't attempt it either. I would have to spend a lot of time learning first, right? So why? Deepa's a great cook, and when she's cooking for the family, I'm part of the family, so I get to eat. So, but these youngsters, there's no prep meals. They're not coming with food from home, and I get it. They're a lot younger as well, right? Their priorities are different. But what should they be like? What would move the needle for them in terms of it's going to get them to make that change, to switch from that junk processed food to whole foods? And I do see a wave of younger people moving in that direction, but I just don't feel like it's fast enough.
I think it's, I got to the point, Sukh, where I realized that we're not here to convince anybody, but you can educate them. Education is the biggest thing, and it's not in a fear-based way. It's very much like, okay, you're having that KFC, but is, when you go home, are you going to be having a home cooked meal? And I always say to, anybody that comes to work with me is, let's do 80%. Let's start with 80% of your meals are home cooked. And then you can go out and enjoy, if you wanted that takeaway, go enjoy it.
Correct.
100%.
Yeah.
But enjoy it. Like, don't be feeling guilty about it. So I think education is key. And I think there is a lot of, I think people call it fear, but I feel like if people are just trying to educate people. At the same time, I do feel like I feel very, I guess, sad for the generation growing up because, everything feels like they have to be having fast food. They have to be sat in front of Netflix for 4 hours and, they shouldn't be out in the sun and all of this stuff, it's the stuff that we should be doing. But again, like I said, we're not here to convince anybody. It is definitely just gently educating them. And like you said, that I see a wave of the younger generation doing a lot more than, and it is because they're being educated in the background. So I think it's also to do with, and we know growing up as well, to do with your background and where you're growing up. So not everybody has access to that education.
Correct.
So it's kind of removing that judgmental hat and element, just saying, you know what, this is where you are, and it's just meeting that person where they are at that time. And that's the biggest thing you can do is just, meet them where they are and educate as much as they accept. Yeah.
Although, like, slight contradiction to what you said, that we live in a time where, people are falling into the trap of Netflix or not getting out as much. But there's also a lot of good information out there that some people are taking on. Like one of my cousins, he is 20 now, I think, maybe just slightly younger.
Yeah.
And, he's like 80%, 90% whole foods. He's such a young lad. And he's like, into his gymming and fitness. Right now, he's doing like a 75 hard. I didn't even know what it was until he told me. It's like 75 days of doing 2 workouts a day, having no junk food and all of this other stuff. Like that's a hard protocol to follow for 75 days, especially for a 20-year-old. So I think there is a lot of good information out there that people who choose are taking it on. But then obviously there is also a sect of people that decide to ignore it.
Yeah. And I think they ignore it because it's convenient to ignore it as well. But also, it's
not attractive, isn't it? Like, it's not sexy to, want to look after your diet.
It's not easy, that's why. And people don't want to do hard work. They want everything instant. They want instant. At the moment, it's instant gratification, isn't it? Like, we open our phones and we're instantly on Amazon. We can order something for delivery tonight. Deliveries, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And this is the mindset at the moment, is in instant gratification. So when you tell somebody, you have to work for your health, it feels hard. And it's like, I don't want to do that work. I'd rather just stick to what I'm doing over here because I'm feeling okay. Yeah. Because it's normalized now. It's normalized to feel okay. And people don't want to feel really good because they're like, I'm all right. And I feel like it's hard for me to, I don't want to say that as well, but at the same time, like, sometimes people need that wake up call as well, like that little bitch slap, like, come on, like, it's
learn
time.
The hard way.
Yeah, like, do the work. Like, nothing you build is, you can't build your health without hard work. You can't build your business without hard work. You can't build a career without hard work. Yeah. You can't build a family, a unit without hard work. Like, everything takes hard work, but it's choosing. Like, choose your hard.
Choose your hard, yeah. Everything is hard because even having like junk food today is easy, but it's going to be harder on your body down the road.
Exactly, 100%.
Not working out today is easy, but
it's going to be hard.
It's going to be harder when you get older.
Yeah. And it's so much harder when you get to an age where, even me at 28, when I started on my health journey, I felt like it was hard. I was like, oh my God. Like, I mean,
anything new is hard though, isn't it? When you're first starting out, because you feel like you don't know what you're doing.
100%.
Like, I'm just going to say this, even starting this podcast has been so hard for me.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is week 14 or something. Yep. But I was having so many technical difficulties in the beginning with like audio and video and mics and cameras and all of this stuff. And it was like, okay, just need to
consistent.
Just one day at a time, just learn a little bit more.
That's what it is. It's the micro steps, isn't it? Yeah. It is not like you have to do everything all at once. It is like the daily habits. It's habit stacking. It's the micro steps that you take every single day. It's like, I think people feel like that if you, you're going to go on a health journey or whatever, you have to change everything, but it's not like that.
I think that's the biggest scare for most people, is that, I have to change who I am to now do this new thing.
But you do have to change who you are in terms of mindset.
Yeah, but you got to change it in small increments.
Yeah,
I always
you can't
think
do it overnight.
You can't, because I think that goes completely against the ethos of daily habits as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if it's that fight or flight kicking in, then isn't it?
Yeah. Then it's just, then you're going backwards. Like I always say to people, if you're getting overwhelmed in your health journey, then it's not doing you any good. In fact, just go back to where you are and restart and just take those small, sustainable steps.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a fight or flight and you're always worried about what you're doing, I did that. Like when I first started and I started to look into toxins, I don't know what it's called. There's a name for it, but I was like focused, and everything felt like, oh my God, I shouldn't have that because it's toxic, and I wouldn't eat out, and I wouldn't go eat. I wouldn't
like
eat at someone's.
Scarcity mindset around it.
There's like I don't know what it's called, but it was like, oh my God, like I can't eat at someone's house because they've probably cooked non-organic food. It's probably unfiltered water. So, and that was more detrimental to my health than actually
trying to be healthy.
Yeah. So I think it is about, it's having, I don't want to say balance. I hate that word, to be honest, but it is about those daily small habits that are going to move you towards where you want to move to. Because have a vision. Where do you want to see yourself in 6 months from now? Who is that person standing at the end of the 6-month line? Yeah. And that version, what is it going to take to get there? It's never going to be like straight over. It's definitely up and down, up and down. That's a health journey.
You have some good days and you have some bad days.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Just embrace what it is and just see every small win as a win, as a big win,
What I'm hearing from all of this is just be willing to do the work. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Being on a health journey is going to be hard, but
100%.
it's going to pay off down the road.
100%.
Is there something that we haven't discussed that you think is important and we should touch on it?
I think, no, the biggest thing is this whole with detoxes. People think we shouldn't. Why do we need to detox? We have a liver, we have kidneys, we have our body detoxes. But it is this whole, how we've talked about the things that are bringing in toxins, and it is because we are so, loaded with toxins, like through our water, through our food, because we have no control of our food being sprayed from the airs or whatever it is. Have a conversation for another day. But, all of these things, we're bringing in toxic load, and there's only so much your liver was designed to actually deal with. So I think people think that detox is like a 5-day juice cleanse. It's not. It's hard, and it's going through those layers, like I talked about the different organs. But we have to do it in this day and age because we are so overloaded with toxins. We have to support our body in a different way. Same with your lymphatic system. I teach the manual lymphatic drainage purely because people aren't moving as much. People aren't breathing properly, and these things, I think people always have that answer. You get that pushback of like, but our body's designed to do it all. Why do we need to help it? And it is purely because of our sedentary lifestyle. We're sitting a lot more, where, we're binging on Netflix or whatever it is. We're not out in nature as much as we can be.
As we should be, yeah.
Yeah, so we
just
do have
generally
to do the
don't
work.
get as much movement as we should.
Yeah, so we have to. So that's my answer for anybody that says, we don't need to detox or we don't need to work on the lymphatic system. It's that, yes, we do, because we're in a day and age where we're just, we're loaded with toxins.
Are we in a day and age where we actually need to do more work for our healthcare than perhaps our ancestors did?
100%. Yeah, because they didn't have that fear of food being sprayed, of the fact that they were moving, they were walking, they had that gap between digestion. All of these little things, they all add up. They didn't need to take supplements. They didn't need to take pills because their lifestyle, afforded them health. And ultimately, our lifestyle these days, the modern lifestyle, it really doesn't. And, we've got phones, we're just doom scrolling, YouTube, Netflix, whatever it is. Great, like as a source of information, but I wouldn't sit there for hours, back-to-back episodes, and this is the problem. And another thing is, we're not in the mornings. We're waking up and people are grabbing their phones straight away.
This is a big one. This is such a huge one.
Blue light.
I talk about this all the time. Like I keep my phone away from my bed.
Yeah.
And I have an alarm clock.
Yeah.
If I need to set an alarm, that's what's going to be my alarm, not my phone.
Yeah.
And then I'm not picking up my phone at least for about 60 minutes.
Yeah.
First 60 minutes after I've woken up.
Yeah.
Because I know as soon as I pick up that phone, it's going to be those red notifications, probably like jump online onto Instagram or something, or check my emails or WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with those things.
Yeah.
I just feel like if I'm starting my day with that, then immediately my mind is now into what do I need to do to perform?
Yeah.
Versus what do I need to do to take care of me first?
Yeah.
And then I can show up.
Yeah. And it's the cortisol hits, right? So as soon as you're on your phone, it's cortisol hit after cortisol hit. And as soon as you wake up, your cortisol is naturally high. So you don't want to be elevating it even more with,
cortisol
grabbing
is
your phone.
Stress hormone.
Yeah. And it's a good thing. Like obviously it's got
because you need to
purpose.
Have your cortisol higher in the morning. Is that right?
Yeah, it's naturally higher. It's protective, right? So it's naturally when you wake up in the morning, it's higher, but it will only come down if you're not doing the things that are, giving you the cortisol hits, like scrolling or coffee before water and things like that. So, and the really important is, and I know it sounds really cliche, but getting the morning light, like getting out in the sunlight first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Or even just looking out of your window.
What does that sunlight do for me? Getting sunlight in the morning.
That is just setting up your circadian rhythm so that it does start to bring your cortisol down as well naturally, and it's setting you up for the evening so that your body naturally starts to produce the melatonin in the evening so that you fall asleep at the right time as well.
The circadian rhythm is basically like my body clock.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah.
So when I get sunlight in the morning, it's syncing with the sun.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, me reducing the light is basically me syncing my body and letting it know that now it's evening and it's time to unwind and get into rest mode.
Yeah. And that's what your body does. That's what
naturally
sunlight does for you.
Yeah.
And that's what we're missing. People are getting up and they're,
with artificial lights or screens and stuff. We're not, are we inhibiting for the melatonin to be produced in our body with these artificial lights?
Yeah. And then if you're sleeping, obviously, before you go to bed and you're scrolling, again, you're sleeping with really high levels of cortisol because blue light does affect your cortisol levels. Yeah. That's going to give you a sluggish lymphatic system. It's going to, you're going to wake up stressed as well,
Does that mean that I probably won't get as restful as sleep as I would have?
Yeah, you won't go into that deep sleep as well because your brain is on, switched on.
I don't check my phone too much before I go to sleep, but I've been tracking my sleep for probably good 7 or 8 months now, and I don't get a lot of deep sleep. Okay. What would be the other reason for that?
So are you drinking coffee later on in the day?
Some days I'll end up having caffeine around 5 o'clock even.
Yeah. So that's going to stay in your body for a little while.
It takes 8 hours, isn't it, for your body to process.
And then when you're supposed to be detoxing from, 9 p.m. onwards, your body's still worrying about bringing down the, caffeine levels.
What's the absolute cutoff I should be having? Say if I'm going to bed by 11 o'clock, what's the absolute cutoff for my last cup of caffeine?
In the morning at 10 a.m.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought you would have said like 2 p.m. or something.
No, honestly, in the morning. Caffeine is one of those things, like I said, you're borrowing energy from your body when you have it.
But like me, since I was very young, it's been a ritual in our family at home. Like, dad would come home from work at 5:30 and then we'd all have tea together. And in those days, we'd have tea, samosas, pakode, everything for tea time. And then we would have dinner. But we would all have tea since I can remember.
Yeah, I know. And we did as well. I think it's more so here in the Western world that we started to do that. Whereas I think if you look in India or anywhere like that, or ancestrally, they didn't have caffeine after late in the afternoon.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just going by your body clock. It's just another
habit change, isn't it?
And it's also, if you look at the Chinese medicine clock, again, after 4 o'clock, I think maybe it's 4 o'clock, your kidneys need support. So you need to hydration at that time rather than coffee.
After 4 o'clock?
Yeah. Because I think it's 4 o'clock, don't quote me on that, but check the Chinese medicine clock. That's when your kidneys are doing their bit. And
herbal teas are quite good for that, aren't they?
Yeah, so like nettle tea, dandelion tea.
I was going to say nettle tea.
Nettle tea is brilliant, if you can have that at that sort of time. Yeah. And make sure you are hydrated by that point in the day because that's when your kidneys really need it. And that's a big thing as well. So
stay hydrated throughout the day, not just
not just
if
in the
I'm
morning.
having, say, a litre of water,
Yeah.
it shouldn't just be like in the space of 1 hour and then forget about it the rest of the day.
No, it's like small amounts throughout the day. Yeah. Because
Okay.
your body can't absorb. If you had a litre of water in the morning,
I'm
like
just gonna
all in
pee
one
it out.
go, your body's not going to absorb all of that at once.
So best to have little bits at a time.
Yeah.
'Cause most of the time, I'll have the bulk of it when I work out or when I go to the gym.
But
and then
you
I
need
probably
that.
won't have a lot.
Later on.
I'll have little bits throughout the day after that.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's fine, because then you've had, as long as you're having it and you're not having all of it in the evening or all of it in the morning, because you're putting a lot of pressure on your bladder then if you have it all at once like that.
There's also this thing about, like, I used to see a holistic health consultant, you can say actually, Alexander.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, all this information online, it's a load of crap, drinking 2 liters of water. He goes, you just drink when you're thirsty.
Yeah. But you drink before you get thirsty, I would say. Because when you've got thirsty, that means you're already dehydrated.
Okay.
So I don't think you should drink before, just when you're thirsty.
So just preempt being thirsty, just consistently drink.
And even the 2 litre thing, I get it, because your food contains water as well. So if you're eating structured water in fruit, like your fruit is like living water. And if you're having fruits, like at this time of year, I would say have your watermelon, things like that. Water-rich fruits like cucumber, watermelon. You're going to be your body's going to be hydrating a lot more with that than if you're just gogging down, 1 litre of water. Definitely. Yeah, I believe that, but to a point that I wouldn't wait till you get thirsty.
Okay.
Yeah. That means your body's already asking you for water. It shouldn't be asking you. You should already have hydrated it.
It's not the same with hunger though, isn't it? You have to wait to feel hungry before you eat. You should wait to feel hungry.
You should, when you're on the cusp of like, okay, I'm feeling hungry. But also, with that said, I would try and have regular eating times. Like every day, if you're eating breakfast at 7, have it at 7. Because your body then is programmed to remember that, okay, I'm going to have breakfast, and it produces the digestive enzymes at that time.
Okay.
And obviously in Ayurveda, our peak, our Agni or our digestive fires, our peak at like midday. So make sure you're having the biggest meal at that time of day. Around
midday, yeah?
Yeah.
Does that cycle change depending on the person's wake up and sleep time, or is that the same regardless of where you are?
It's the sun, and
it's the sun.
It's based on
that's
that.
What I was going to say.
Yeah.
So our circadian rhythm is linked to the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
Not what time you're waking up and what time you're going to sleep.
No, because people are waking up like midday, but that's the time where your digestive fires are highest, and they're not eating anything till 4 p.m., which so you've missed that
opportunity.
Yeah, that point where your body needs nourishment at that point. Yeah. So definitely go by. And when you start tuning in more into your body and you go more with the intuition, then you'll realize, okay, I'm feeling a little bit hungry, but your body is naturally going to get hungry at that time because you've brought in food at that time as well. I think it's, and it's not every day. Like some days you're busier and you might not have your lunch on time, but mostly try and have it in that period between, I think it's 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's the peak in Ayurveda and also Chinese medicine actually as well.
Where you best digest food.
You're going to digest food a lot better, and that's your biggest meal as well. So eat like a king, as in eat your biggest meal.
Your biggest meal at that point, and then probably a lighter meal for dinner.
Yeah. That's it. Really, and those are little habits that it doesn't take a lot of thought process. It's just building them in, right?
I do agree with the eating intuitively. Like, when I went through my health transformation 3 years ago, I was calorie counting. I was in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I wasn't eating the best foods. Like the home cooked meals were fine.
Yeah.
But to still get my sweet fix, I was going on like the diet based stuff. So I was having like protein pots, which are highly processed.
Yeah.
And I was leaning towards them just to get my sweet fix. But, when you go on the low fat diet kind of food, you can it packs a lot of flavor for something that has very low calorie count.
Yeah.
And, obviously it's scientifically designed to do that.
Yeah.
And I started heavily relying on it. And I did that for a good 6 months while I was on the plan.
Okay.
And then slowly, I got myself out of that cycle where I started to think, okay, I'm in a better shape now. I've achieved the result that I wanted to achieve. I'm in a good shape. How can I now stop relying on these yogurt pots and protein pots and all that stuff. So then I slowly moved away from it, and I moved towards whole foods, natural ingredient stuff. And then I started looking into, okay, what can I bake for myself? Because I have a sweet tooth, and I don't want to deprive myself.
No, yeah.
So I was like, what can I start baking for myself that's made with real food, but still gives me, the sweet
sugar
fix, I guess.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, I then started to go into a lot more of a whole food diet, like more vegetables, meats only, and less processed stuff.
Yeah.
And my point was that when you start eating more intuitively, I started to have a lot more energy. Because when I was on the plan, I could tell that, you almost look like gaunt, like weak, almost to some degree.
Yeah.
And you kind of lose that glow. And I'm talking from a vanity perspective as well.
Yeah.
But even in terms of energy, I felt the shift when I started eating more whole foods. Like I had more of a kick in my step. I looked great both times, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sort of tooting my own horn here. But in the sense that, I think the energy was just a lot better, and my sleep pattern was a lot better when I started eating whole food diet.
Yeah. Because your body recognizes those foods. It knows when they come in, it knows what it is. Whereas processed foods, a lot of the health-based foods that we see, protein bars and all these.
Yeah, I was heavy on protein bars at that time, which I wouldn't go near anymore.
Yeah.
Protein shakes as well.
Because a lot of them are heavily processed.
Yeah. And you know what? Looking back at it, and this has just dawned on me now, that my sleep was probably the worst in that period of my time, in that period of my life.
Yeah.
It's also because I was working a lot more late nights, but just generally my sleep was very poor. And I knew that at the time, because I was thinking, if I can just hack my sleep, because I know higher cortisol stops you from fat loss, and I want to optimize it so I can have a better fat loss journey.
Yeah, but then it's that whole thing of, especially you were calorie counting, so you were cutting back on fats where your body needed the essential fats, right? So that's another problem with dieting. The diet culture is that you're cutting out certain things, whereas why not have the things that your body needs, and then go back to that intuition of, okay, so I don't need that much essential fatty acids, or I don't need too much protein, just go with what it is. Because protein's a big thing as well, like it's protein, but how much can your body actually break down?
Process,
how much are we moving? Like our ancestors may have had more protein because they were doing harder work than us, physical. Whereas we're having, where women are being told, have 30 to 40 grams of protein in the morning.
Meal,
Like, whose body can digest that much protein in one sitting? Nobody's. And if you think of it, and that's even thinking of it from an Ayurvedic perspective, is that you can't, because that protein is going to start fermenting in the body, and then that leads to issues as well, gut issues. So intuitive eating is it's really powerful when you can really tap into it as well, because then you know that, okay, I probably only need this much protein, probably need a bit more vegetables today, or the day before I've maybe had some foods that weren't serving my body. I don't like to say bad foods, but if you've had sugar or whatever it is, then have more vegetables the next day, boost your microbiome. All of those things, that goes back to intuitively thinking about what your body needs, rather than, a plan, per se,
that's right.
This person's told me I need to have these foods today, but your body is different to my body, it's body to the next person.
Yeah.
So it's going.
You can achieve a goal, but long-term health is probably not.
Especially when you're fasting and things as well, and you're already malnourished, which most people are, to be honest. So then they go on a 3-day fast or a water fast, and they've already done a lot of diets, so their body, it's already struggling. It's like, I'm already struggling. I don't have enough nutrients to do the job that I'm supposed to be doing, like detoxing or digesting, whatever it is. So it's going back to, let's just go back to a good hearty meal. And you don't have to be having 3 meals a day if you're full up after your lunch. Then just hydrate and have maybe a snack at 4 p.m. or something.
What would a good hearty meal be for me? What should the balance be on my plate?
I would always say half a plate of vegetables, fiber. Okay. And that's because they've got fiber, protein, carbohydrates. That's a mixture, right? And then you've got protein, which is they say about a fist full. So then you've got your...
Protein is my choice of meat.
Meat, fish, lentils, pulses, whatever you're having. Okay. And then the other thing is your essential fatty acids, which is about a thumb, about this much. So if you had an avocado or olives, whatever it is you're having, and then your carbs. Like people cut carbs out as well, but think about the human body, it's made up of carbon, right? We need carbohydrates as well. So, have your carbohydrates, but have carbohydrates that are like things like sweet potato.
Yes.
And that
I
are
recently
not going to give you
started to
that.
like it.
I love, sweet potato is amazing, and people don't realize how good it is for their hormonal health as well.
Oh, okay.
For women as well, amazing for your hormonal health. So have the carbs, like try and avoid too much of the carbs that go straight in with the sugar, like gluten or white bread and things like that. Go for things like the sweet potato that are slow releasing, so that your body does have that energy to go through the afternoon.
Sustained energy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about rice?
Rice, wild rice is brilliant. Like, as in, it's the better.
What about like white tilde basmati rice?
Okay, my issue with rice is now it's polished, so it's gone through a process. It's definitely processed.
It's been refined.
Yeah, and it's been they've made it white because it's not actually naturally necessarily white.
Okay.
So another thing is with rice farming is you've got high levels of arsenic, going into the soils. So you will notice that. Well, we know that rice has high levels of arsenic. So I know I've worked with somebody that had high levels of arsenic in their body, and we brought it back to the fact that she was having a lot of rice. So we had to obviously detox the...
What does the arsenic in my body do to me?
It's going to affect your mineral balance. So any heavy metals, too much of any heavy metal, is going to affect your mineral balance. It's going to affect how you're functioning. It's going to start to, deposit in certain parts of your body, in certain tissues as well. So it does affect your long-term health as well. Like things like lead, for example, that deposits in your bone. So people start to get bone health issues. Could well be that you've got...
Because you never think of that, isn't it?
No, you don't. I mean, I'm not saying don't have rice. Like, this is not about scaring you from rice. Wash it thoroughly. Pre-soak it, I say, for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wash it after 12 hours. And then when you're going to go to wash it before you cook it, make sure the water's running clear so that you've got out as much of the gunk as possible. But again, like I said, don't make it a big staple in your meal. Yeah.
That's quite hard for Indians or South Asians, isn't it? Like rice is such a big part of our diet.
It is, and it has been going like from generations,
even
right?
like Mediterranean food, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people have high rice in the diets, but again, it's this, the problem now is the situation with our soils, the farming processes, and all of that kind of thing. So it's just a case of finding what is the better option. So you could have like cauliflower rice, you could have buckwheat rice. That's really nice as well. That's just buckwheat groats, which you again make like rice.
Okay.
And it tastes really good, and it's got more protein in it.
I don't think I've ever had it. I need to give it a try.
It's lovely, actually. You could try it. It's really good. And it's an alternative then to white rice. And I'm not saying don't ever have rice. Have it once or twice a week if you want.
And what about brown rice?
Brown rice is actually, because the husk of the rice is thicker, it's actually got more arsenic in it.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
I say don't have it.
All right. So is that like another gimmick?
Yeah, it's that whole thing of let's have something brown. Whole meal. But I mean, obviously,
does it at least have more fiber or no?
Yeah, because it's not been bleached as well. It's not been polished and stuff like that. But it's knowing your sources. I think, where has this come from, and knowing that it's a good source of that food.
It comes back to just education around it.
Yeah, 100%.
Understanding what you're eating.
And wild rice is better in that respect. So if you want rice, get wild rice.
What is wild rice?
Wild rice has got it's got the mixture. So it's not basmati rice. It is wild rice. So it's growing in a lot cleaner conditions.
Okay.
And it's actually wild. So it's how it's come from nature. Yeah. Okay. It's not been polished and bleached and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, like I said, always go back to the source and knowing what it is you've got on your plate. Because we might think something's healthy, but again, it's educating yourself on, and again, that's hard, but it's once you've done it, you've done it,
then
right?
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it forever, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you have to keep re-educating yourself. 100%.
What would you say are like 3 habits that someone that's listening right now can start applying today or tomorrow that's going to move their gut health in the right direction?
So the first thing is adding in those vegetables and fruits, like every day, like each meal,
Any specific vegetables?
Just a mixture, like seasonal as well. I say we're trying to eat seasonally. That's because they're like rich in nutrients as opposed to something that's out of season. The second thing is obviously the clean water. Like, I wouldn't even say this is like in a particular order. This is just everything together. So clean water, because if your gut's receiving clean water, then it's so much easier for it to do the job that it's supposed to be doing.
Okay.
And the third thing is not around food, really. It's about breathing. Like, just breathe. Like, we're holding our breath up here.
Breathe?
Make sure you're breathing deep down into your gut. Yeah, because if you're not breathing into your gut, then your body, the lymphatic system, if we go back to that, 50% of it is in your gut. If you're not taking your breath down into your gut, then your lymphatic system isn't moving. Your body can't digest
because you're not getting
fully.
oxygen down there.
Yeah, and it's not moving. You're not getting that blood flow as well, because that movement increases the blood flow. It's going to help with the digestion. It's going to help with the lymphatic system, and it's going to help with just overall gut health.
But as I'm going in my day to day, I'm not going to remember to deep breathe. So should I be like just giving myself 5 or 10 minutes to just do some breath work?
Yeah, you can do your breath work. But again, it's taking those moments out in the day as well. So it's not like I've done 5 minutes breath work in the morning and I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Like, definitely take moments out in the day where you're with your breath. And the best time to actually do it is before you eat, because then you're going to eat anyway. And I always say to people, take 3 to 5 deep breaths before you eat food.
Yeah.
One, it's going to train your body that food's coming in. So I need to produce the digestive enzymes. And 2, it's going to help your body relax, because your body can't digest if it's in a fight or flight mode.
Okay.
And thirdly, it's going to help with the digestion of your food as well. So that's how you'd remember. And yeah, you're right. You're not going to be sat there all day thinking about your breath.
Yeah.
Because we have
You
moments.
just breathe the way you do. And
breathe normally. But we're all breathing up here. We're not going deep down. And
that's right. Yeah.
obviously have it like something like a yoga practice, like, like you do deeper, whatever it is, do that breath work, but make sure you're implementing it throughout the day, because
not just when you're on the yoga mat or in your morning ritual.
Take it into your
day.
The whole of your day.
That's a good way of doing it, actually, is to just have 3 to 5 deep breaths before you're about to have your meal.
Yeah, because it's reminding your body that it's safe as well. That I'm safe, I'm going to eat. And it's just that reminder for your body that food's coming in now.
And me feeling safe means I'm not in my fight or flight, basically.
Yeah. And you're going to be detoxing better, digesting better, everything's going to flow.
So more vegetables, more water, and deep breaths before meals.
Yeah. I mean, I'd add in sleep as well, but that's for everything.
That's the foundation.
Yeah, 100%. Make sure you're getting good sleep. And I don't want to put a time on like 8 hours, 9 hours. Just make sure you're getting that deep. You're hitting those deep notes of sleep.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Indy.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful having you on, and I got to learn a lot.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Where can we find you online?
So mostly on Instagram, Indy Kaur Wellness. And yeah, that's it really. YouTube, I'm on there. I have a few videos on there as well, but mostly find me on Instagram.
Thank you so much. I'll link it below.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please share it with someone who you think will benefit from the information that Indy shared with us. Also, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. It's going to help me keep coming back every week and grow this show. Thank you.